If you have looked at videos on this channel more often, you know that I am long-term, with long-term, I mean the rest of the year, super bullish. In the meantime, anything could happen though. And in this video, I would like to really just transparently show you when I am buying what. So I'm gonna give some price levels for some altcoins. Disclaimer, they might not get hit, but I have a bag of cash. And if these levels are not getting hit, I can always use that money to get into pre-sales, IDOs, new cryptos, new coins, maybe slowly DCA the way up a little bit. But if they do get hit, then I have a great entry. And that's, in my opinion, how you prepare for crypto. Plan for the worst, pray for the best, or the other way around. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. And in the Alpha Factory, you see exactly what I have, when I buy, when I sell, exclusive videos, my complete portfolio, giveaways, you'll name it. So you can get into the Alpha Factory. There's a link down below in the pinned comment. For free, there's a free trial. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, get out. It's so simple. So I don't want to go over the market too much in this video, as that's what I've done lately most. But if you look at the crypto market at this moment, we are simply in a stage of bull, bear, prepare. Like that's always how it works. We have the bull where we go up hard, the bear where you should do anything but crypto, the prepare phase where you just want to stack up, and then the bull again. And we are still in stack up mode, right? Like it is time where the bull could come at any moment, but it doesn't have to exactly be here. We could be a month, 2 months later this time, whatever, it doesn't matter. The longer we spend in this prepare phase, the more money you will eventually make when the bull phase happens, right? And that's the downside for a lot of people. They think like, hey, the bull is not going to come, so I'm not going to do anything in the prepare phase. And then when the bull does come, there are no rewards for you because you didn't do anything in the prepare phase, right? So it's all about conviction. If you don't have the conviction, that's fine. But in that case, I don't know why you're watching this video, right? So apparently there is something in the market that makes you come back anyway. So let's assume that we are all just bullish on crypto right here, which I am, for many good reasons. So in this video, I would like to give a couple of altcoins that I will buy if they hit certain levels. Why altcoins and why not just Bitcoin? Like it's safer, it's over the longer term, playing out better. I know the post-halving year is just kind of famous for making people a lot of money with altcoins. And until proven otherwise, I'm not going against that, right? So maybe at the end of the year, we could finally say like, hey, this time was different. So far, I'm not seeing any changes. So therefore, altcoins. I expect the Bitcoin dominance to go down. I expect the Bitcoin dominance here without stables to not have the greatest time ever, like it was in this rising wedge. Really quickly about the market then, whatever, was in this rising wedge right here. It's now below the wedge. It's struggling a little bit with the bull market support band. But then again, this video is pre-recorded with 1 day. Who knows how it looks? But this is not the most bullish chart, which is bullish for altcoins. So I have a small list right here. This is not my entire list. It has to be updated. But if I look at this list, then there are a couple of things that I can look at and be like, okay, makes sense. In the video that I made yesterday or the day before yesterday, I've showed that my worst case scenario for Bitcoin is 70K. Right now, if that happens, it doesn't necessarily mean that your altcoins are going to get flushed out. It depends on what the Bitcoin dominance does, right? And based on the last cycle, altcoins don't even go down that hard if that happens. Could be that that's the case this time. Altcoins can always go down 40% or more. It's crypto. Even in a bull market, that happens. So I just want to give worst case scenarios, okay? Not the average DCA case scenarios. If we look at the altcoin market, then you might be like, hey, I'm going to buy here because this is where it's going to bounce, right? And maybe it does. But worst case for me is this trend line right here, which is still in a massive uptrend, by the way. But this is down a lot from where we are right now, right? If you look at the altcoin market as of today and we go back down to that line, depending on when it gets hit, it's down another 30%. Now, that's the top 125, excluding the top 10. if you are in shitcoin rank 2000 somewhere, yeah, and then that 30% could be 85%, for example, right? So although we have an average picture, we should still look at the altcoins individually. Now, these things could play out very fast. So what you might want to do is, if you have money on CXs, just put limit orders, right? You'll never know if they get hit. It's crypto, anything could happen, right? They can go down like 60% in a day. They can go up 60% in a day. Again, it's crypto, right? Don't ever say like it can't happen. We should know better than that. Now, I have a couple of altcoins in this list that I am chronically bullish on for this bull market. Some of them are gaming, some of them are Launchpad, some of them are DeFi. It's all over the place. Like, I'm not trying to stick to one narrative. I think that in a alt season, kind of everything goes up, right? And not every 5 million meme coins just created on Pump Fun, but every coin that's a little established in somewhat kind of a way will profit from an overall market going up, give or take, right? So number one is Wilderworld. Wilderworld is a one of the better looking gaming slash metaverse projects, and when this thing pumps, it pumps hard. Now, what you can see every time it goes off of this trend line, we have a pump of 200%. Here we have a pump of 280%. Here we had a pump of 540%. Here we have a pump of 400%, right? So this thing shows to me like, hey, so far, going back to June 2022, every time it does hit this trend line, it got followed by insane profit. Like, not just a nice trade, but really insane, potentially life-changing profits, right? So this trend line is something that I feel like, man, if it's all a big disclaimer in this video, if it gets there, based on what we have seen so far, is a great trade. And every time it gets there, people are scared right here as well. People thought like, yeah, look, it bounced so many times and now it's going down here for too long. It's not coming back. And damn, they missed out on a 5x right there, a pretty easy 5x. So it's not a matter of certainties and guarantees, but it is a matter of odds, right? And the odds on this trend line are in your favor. So that's a general disclaimer for almost every project in this video. Do note as well that these trades don't play out over a couple of days, okay? When let's say we get down to this trend line, just like here, and you might be like, okay, let's take that trade, right? And it was August 2024, and in November 2024, we're still there, right? That's 3 months. In 3 months, a lot could happen. Like, you already bought in 3 minutes. So in 3 months, you probably already gave up on this trade. Please know that crypto is such a patient game. So are these trades, okay? So it might be that it get there, right? It might be that you buy it, but it also might be that you have to wait a very, very, very long time for it maybe to play out, okay? So please keep that in mind. Now, again, I'm not going to chart this as of today because I think there's a lot more support before we hit this level. But if we hit this level, then I'm going to buy. And depending on when we get there, it's not completely horizontal, but then it might be sitting at around 21 up to 23 cents, give or take. So that's number one. Wilderworld, lower 20 cents. Insane buy, and these levels correspond with the fact that, you know, Bitcoin might go to 70K, right? That altcoins go to the lower side of this trend line. Again, that's my worst case scenario, not necessarily the thing that I know or expect to happen, but also something that I feel like, yeah, could happen, right? So we'll see in a couple weeks, couple months, if it get there. Right? It's not for today, but again, you want to have a plan. You want to be prepared, right? You want to know already, like, hey, if Wild gets there, I want to buy, at least for me. So where do you get it? Where do I have to have my stables ready? This is a long-term thing with potential high reward. And I will go over a couple of altcoins in this list just to see, like, hey, what are some good levels? Now, PAL is also an altcoin that I don't have at the moment. I sold it somewhere quite close to the top, luckily, this top right here. And I do think it's an interesting project. If it comes back to around the whole area of 15 up to 20 cents, that's a buy for me, right? Because it is very easy. For me, PAL can easily go back to at least 50 cents, right? We haven't had an alt season yet. We haven't seen much yet, and that will come. But if you buy it right here, then that's a 50% gain. That's nice. But if you buy it at the lower side of the range, and in the meantime, you don't have to do shit, right? You just have to wait. You don't lose money in the meantime. Just wait. Just do something nice with your life. And if it then gets there, let's say more than a 3x, right? So then it's a good trade. Now it's a terrible trade, in my opinion. Like there's a good amount of downside, but potentially a decent amount of upside. That's not the ratio that I'm looking for. I want a lower downside and more upside. Desync is a coin that shows like it can go to 50 cents pretty easy. These spikes, like they happen fast, but it gets sold off very fast as well. Now, if desync comes back down to around this kind of the lower range, that's a buy for me, right? And again, from this point up till the highest point is 70%. But if it gets down to around this range and then to the highest point, that's a 250% trade. So desync 15 up to 20 cents. Altora is holding up a lot better than a lot of other altcoins. So, I don't expect this thing to go down to the lower side of the range where it was at the beginning of this cycle. This thing was a monster, right? But I do see three areas where it might go. And this is more of a DCA thing for me, actually, because at around 8 cents is big support, at around 5 cents is big support, and around 2 is big support. So for me, this is not a given that if the market corrects, that El Toro will break this level and then go down there, right? If you feel like I don't want to miss out on it, then I would say DCA. If it gets there, DCA, and if it gets there, go hard, right? If you don't give a shit about El Toro and you are prepared to miss out to make a bigger gain, then I would say wait for it. Maybe it does this, right? And then if it get back down there, that's an insane entry because that's a 9x from that point. And again, this was without alt season, without anything, right? So this thing showed like, hey, if the market is in our favors, in the altcoin market's favor, then it will rip. But that's also the reason why it's having a lot more trouble to get back down there again. And by the time it gets back down there, you should also realize you probably don't have the motivation to buy it anymore because it's not that high anymore. It just got wrecked. Like you feel like El Toro is over, nobody's bullish on it anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, sentiment was same over here, right? That made it a good buying opportunity in the first place. GPU spoke about this in the Alpha Factory. Target 1 got hit. Was a nice sell. Now this whole area is a big area though. But again, worst case scenario, this one is very simple for me. We have this trend line that goes back to March 2024, tagged it in July, tagged it a lot of times in October, November, and then really ripped from 50 cents to 230, give or take. So this is, if the market corrects, this very well could go down to this trend line actually of around, by that time, 60, 70 cents, give or take. That would be a perfect buy, depending on how the market looks by then, because we can also see that there's a lot of horizontal support over here. So this actually 70 cents might be target 1 and 50 cents might be target 2. Great buy, in my opinion. I'm going hard on it by then. 01 Labs, DEAI, a lot of people bullish on it. Here, of course, here, not so much. Might be a good time to buy right now, actually. Nevertheless, I do think that if the market corrects that hard, right, big question mark, then this whole area of 15 cents is a good one, right? Potential upside back to the highs now is 200%. But if it gets down here, the upside is around 630%. So huge difference. And you don't have to write it down in the meantime. So yeah, again, I can keep on giving disclaimers. This is not like, oh, you're going to miss out if you wait. I'm not saying you should wait. I'm saying that if you want to make a big trade and if the market goes down, then these are my levels where I'm going hard on it. Same as Playable. I'm buying Playable already a little bit, but I must say that Playable is now looking a little weak. It had a huge run up. Now it came down, but it came down a lot harder than a lot of other altcoins. It's mostly because it's in a narrative that's at the moment not so hot, which is gaming, which in my opinion it will be. That makes this actually a great buy. Also, it's low cap. So overall, Playable is one that I feel like, okay, this is one that I would really go hard on right now, despite the fact that the market might go down even further. But if the market goes down even further, yeah, then we can look at a whole different levels for Playable. Actually, then I feel like this might be more the level, which is it's now around 9, all these zeros, but around 9. Then it might go to 3 to 6, give or take. So this thing could go down another 50%, right? I mean, if Bitcoin goes down to 70, what's another 50% crash for a low cap altcoin? Yeah, what a buy that would be, right? Like if it just goes back to this high right here, it's almost 1,000% gain. And again, the market showed like a month ago that these levels are possible, right? So therefore, that doesn't make it an unrealistic gain, actually. So that's looking really good. Cetify is one that yeah, I love it. Cetify actually around 130 is already what I would buy. That's without a big market correction, actually, but that's just the current uptrend for CeFi. It's been in that uptrend since September 2023, higher lows all the time. So CeFi is actually looking good. Now, if it goes down, let's say below this level, then we break this trend line, then we break this higher low, then we might break this horizontal support. Then it's for CeFi a matter of going down a lot harder, actually. And then my, yeah, that's a big range. My target would be something between 65 cents and 80 cents for CeFi. That's why I'm going really hard on it. Bread, if we look at this current uptrend for bread, then let me can see if we can take it back any further, yeah, a little bit. Then I would say this diagonal is a nice one, which is not that far from where we are right now, 9 cents at the moment, right? And if it just keeps on going sideways for a couple of months, then it will hit the trend line anyway. And that would still be bullish. If it's anywhere above 7.5 cents, that will be a higher low. If it goes down there, then I would say be a little careful. Then it can go down really hard. Siders is not something that I'm stacking up myself necessarily. ChainGPT is, but ChainGPT just had an amazing run, partly thanks to their Binance listing. And this is one that kind of looked like what was the other one? El Toro, actually, where there's a long way to go down. And if you look, this trend line is the macro trend line, right? That goes back to April, here, September, October, November, here again in November 2024. So yeah, if the market takes a big correction and ChainGPT eventually goes down really hard, then I would say around 11, 13 cents, depending on if and when it gets there. But in the meantime, let's first break 30 cents and then we have huge support around, yeah, it's a slightly bigger range actually, but a huge support around 16 up to 20 cents, give or take. So that would be a big buying level for me. And then if it gets here, that's why I'm going really, really hard on it. Superverse. Let me see. Yeah, I still have my worst case scenario buy right there, and that's still accurate, actually, right? It had it went to the lower side. We had a huge spike up. Actually, it was a fantastic trade, and now it's going down, breaking all these major levels. So with Superverse, I would say anywhere between 83 and $1, give or take, looks fantastic. And I don't see much reason why it cannot get there at the moment. Actually, it doesn't look that healthy at the moment. Super on its Bitcoin pair, we should take a look at that because I think it got pretty wrecked also. Yeah, it got pretty wrecked. What the fuck is this line doing? This is the typical McDonald's pattern. No, I don't know. I must say that this whole level right here is big support. So yeah, it might hold. If it breaks, then we can see Super go down another 25% ish on its Bitcoin pair, depending on what happens to Bitcoin. If that happens, then this can go down really hard on the dollar pair. Yeah, and then it's a matter of finding new supports and resistances, and that's quite hard because it went up pretty hard, right? It went up really, really hard. So it didn't leave a lot of support behind. But I would say this level right here, it lines up with a little here as well. Now Super between 55 and 70 cents actually would be a fantastic buy. I mean, it already showed it can go to 220, right? SPX, one of the few meme coins that I have, not looking that healthy at the moment. This I thought like, hey, this right here was big resistance, so could flip into support. Therefore, I've drawn this line, but to be honest, doesn't give shit about that. And yeah, it's full of wicks, so that's a little hard to chart actually. But I think that 80 cents, which we are not far from at the moment, could line up with a lot of this support resistance right here. So and combined with this diagonal. So I wouldn't go necessarily hard on it. It's still a meme coin, and you know that meme coins can go down way harder than the rest of the market. I mean, the market just had a 30% correction. This thing is down 45% at the moment. Who knows how low it can go, right? And that goes for low caps even more. This is Whack Me. This is Wreck Me. This thing has been going down with 77%. Incredible. Whack Me is an interesting one. Every time it pumps hard, but it gets sold off very fast as well. And I must say that this whole area right here, it is an important area. Let me not take that wig, by the way. But this area right here is always like whenever it got here, same as well. Whenever it got here, bam, huge pump. Whenever it got here, huge pump. And it's now almost there again, but it still has a long way to go down before it gets to the lower side of it. So I would say all the zeros, it's now 7.5, 4.5. If it gets there, screaming buy. Always by then look like, hey, is there something going on with Whack Me specific? If not, screaming buy. Really screaming buy. Because then it shows like, you know, if this the move, then it shows like, hey, it might go up another 500% from there. Yeah, it's a nice trade, right? OXO sold a big back in the pump. Luckily, because also breaking all big support levels at the moment. And to be honest, let me take a look right here. It's sitting at the 618 right now. So let's see how 22 cents hold up. If that breaks, then on the FIP retracement, 15 is the next level. And that lines up with some support, right? Like, oh shit. You should just, oh, here we go. That level is corresponding with resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So I don't know. It's hard to chart all these wicks though. Uh, Let me be clear. I wouldn't buy it right now, right? Because if this is the range, then why you're buying here? Wait for this, and then maybe make a nice trade out of it. So 10 cents ultimate target, but already at around 15. Nice. Tau also, do we have something with a little more history? Because this is definitely not helpful. Maxi always lists everything before anybody else. Okay, nice line there. Tau, BitTensor. Actually, this level here, where we are right now, between 350 and 400, is something mentionable. So let's see how it holds up right here. If you want to DCA in a, slightly high cap, safer AI coin, good first DCA level, definitely. If it breaks, then yeah, I would say somewhere between 200 and 250. If that breaks, yeah, then you should wonder what happened with Tau. Like, let's first see if that holds up. Prime is also still a very great coin. This is slightly the stronger coins. People said like, oh, gaming dead. Here you go, crazy. Outperformed a lot of other coins in the market. And this is still in, forgive me for the not perfect line, but I would say that between $9 and $10 is a great level. And otherwise, let's see if it gets to this $7 mark again. Right? Worst case scenario, $5. I would go hard. I would go really hard on this one. Beam, same. Beam is nice. Beam is really cool to chart actually. Beam is in a very obvious uptrend actually, right? The had like great. I don't know. I cannot take it for a ban. I don't know. Nice try. But it's in a really good uptrend for a couple months already. And again, in an uptrend with higher lows, you don't want to be scared when the higher low is in. You want to buy the higher low, right? That's a fact. And it's kind of there already, right? Together with the fact that we are now sitting at some huge horizontal support, right? We have this here, resistance here, everywhere. And it might be that this, I don't know, bounces for a while right here around exactly where we are right now, 2 cents. And that's big support. I don't know if we have more coming up right there. We have a bull market support band, which is usually doing something around this level, a little below it. I don't know. Beam looks good at the moment, actually, right? Not saying that it can't go lower, but if you want to DCA somewhere, then this is the level. If it breaks, then I would say, yeah. Then I would say this is the level. Between, it's a big range, but between 11 and 16, 1.1 and 1.6 cents. Huge, huge opportunity right there. Trader Joe, same pattern as a lot of other altcoins, actually. So in a pretty clear higher low structure, already there, right? Already there. So not bad at 30 cents, actually. Really a good place. If that breaks, and then let me take a look at the higher time frame for the longer trades. If that breaks, though, then then the big level is 2022, give or take. 22 cents for Joe. I'm going hard. People maybe want to buy Mark. Also in a clear uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows. Looking good, right? And if this is the pattern again, then you want to buy the higher low until it breaks. right? Until it breaks. And then you have to wonder, like, okay, how far can that go down? Yeah, and then it's really important that it holds this higher low at least of 8, right? That's important. If it doesn't, then get the hell out. Render, yeah, it's at the look. I have 3 targets for render basically. Where we are right now, 6.5. Next one is around 4.5, and the next one is around 3.5. So 3.5 ultimate bear target. If it goes lower, then render probably has a problem. AVEX is what I'm buying for sure, and AVEX just looking good, man. I can't lie. Like, AVEX has the narratives, it has the hype, it has the product, it kind of has it all. And this is a beautiful uptrend for AVEX so far. Now we want to see how it plays out because we have a lower high. Are the bulls going to get in control or the bears? Right? That's the big question. And if it gets to this level right here of around, yeah, depending on when it happens, could be 26, could be 29. It's a good buy right there. If that breaks, then we want to see it hold the previous low, right? Because then it's still in higher low structure at least, right? So of course it can break this trend line, but if it bounces like here somewhere, 24, fine, right? But this level is very significant. This level right here, right? This is a huge level. If it goes below here, then trouble probably. If it gets here and it bounces, yeah, this is a great level, $23. Incredible. IMX, I don't have a lot of IMX anymore. Actually, I had to capitulate on something to get into other positions. But overall, beautiful, by the way. Luckily, I sold it a lot earlier than this. If you have IMX and you consider selling, might not be the best time right now. This is a typical great buying point, actually, right now. There's a good chance that this will break, though. And yeah, then I would say you can look at way lower levels for IMX, actually. Yeah. BuyMX, then it's more around 75 cents. Solana, I am not buying Solana at the moment. You know, I know a lot of people, they see it as the blue chip, the new blue chip, right? But on the other hand, Solana, like, I want to see how this plays out. Solana on its Bitcoin pair. It bounces here, luckily, but if it does break, then we have a long way to go down for Solana. I just don't want to be there when that happens. For me, this is way too much downside compared to the potential upside. Yeah, whatever. If you want to buy Solana, then this is the level, actually. This is the level. If it does break, yeah, 115. Sorry to break it to you, but that's it. Ronin, 150. Let me go over there a little quicker. And Polis is something that I would consider buying. Maybe Star Atlas sold a little bit. Nice. Why did I draw it like that? Well, this is actually. No, I wouldn't buy it right now. Wouldn't buy it right now. But at 8 cents, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So these are just some levels that I'm looking at. Again, not saying that they will hit, but it's important to have a plan in case it does happen, right? Because again, these are fantastic buying opportunities. I expect the market to eventually go way higher. The altcoin market, it's not even close to its lows, right? It's close to the highs. Yeah, it's the beginning of 2025, beginning of the post-halving year, beginning of the alt-season year, right? Like, any dips are opportunities. And by the way, one of the safer plays that I feel like this coin might surprise a lot of people in a positive way is Ethereum. Might be a little boring, but Ethereum is. I think that Ethereum is going to really rip this year. And if we look at ETH now in a big uptrend, big resistance right here, right at around 4K. let's see how the bull market support band holds up at $3,000. If it breaks, then it might go to 26. 26 is a 2,500, maybe even 2,500, big level, right? We have support coming in here around that level, right? Together with this diagonal. Let's see. Let's see. I think that Ethereum is a great buy if it gets to around $2,600. For a low risk trade, it's a good one, real good one. So I want to wrap it up right here. If you want me to do this more often, let me know. I can make a watch list with coins that are mentioned in the comment section below. So I can make a YouTube, whatever I'm going to call it. And we can go over that list occasionally to see how these coins are performing, my expectations, how it played out. We're doing this in the Alpha Factory as well. I have a Alpha Factory TA list. Let's do it on YouTube as well. For now, thanks for watching. Be a little patient. The market is going to heat up again. Of course, dips, corrections, all part of the game. The only way to benefit from the pumps is if you took advantage in the corrections, right? So let's do that. For now, if you want to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. I'll see you tomorrow or something. I'm so tired, man. See you guys tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. I'm too tired. I'm going to sleep. Bye-bye.